Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, crazy babies. Welcome back to another episode of Jam Sessions with your host, yours truly, Joe Mycutt. Sorry for my voice. I've been a little under the weather, but can't nobody hold me down. Oh no, I've got to keep on moving. And with that little bit of entertainment, I'm going to scooch along off stage and bring to the stage your next author. Also, guys, stay tuned after the interview for some other book recommendations. I have a few good books that I think you're going to love to hear about. So be sure to stay tuned for those. Without further ado, here's your next author. Hello, hello, hello. What's up, crazy babies? Welcome back to another episode of Jam Sessions. We have here today, I'm really excited. There is Brandon Adam Haven with his book, This Broken Home. Let's see that book again. There it is. That's a beautiful cover, man.
Thank you.
What did that come about? What's that art?
I generated it through AI art, actually.
Yeah, well, it's beautiful. It's a great cover, the front and back. So Brandon Adam Haven is the author of This Broken Home, and we're going to jump right into it. Thanks for joining us and letting us get to know you and a little bit about your book.
Thank you.
Absolutely. So with This Broken Home, tell us a little bit about that book. What's the premise?
So in 2022, I had a very rough year. My bass player, very good friend of mine, died. My stepmother died. A guy who was like my little brother died. My uncle died. All this in 1 year. So that's what inspired the premise and the name, This Broken Home. Basically, the brokenness of the world. You know what I mean? And I chose to try to represent that in a bunch of scenarios, with the poems and short stories within it.
Absolutely. Well, I'm first and foremost sorry for all your loss. That had to be a lot to bear in that 1 year. So sorry to hear that. I do think it is wonderful, though, that you, like so many authors, are able to take those parts of life and turn them into beautiful art and beautiful literature to share your experience and help other people process those experiences. So just like the many authors before you, kudos to you for being able to turn something unfortunate into something better in your life.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Now with your writing style, I understand that the book, I haven't gotten my copy yet. I can't wait to get all these books from the authors that I'm interviewing. I understand that this is a dark kind of macabre style writing style. So who inspires you in your writing style, or what?
I would say, other than life and experiences, I've had a lot of experiences, but I like the classics like Edgar Allan Poe, Robert Burns, William Blake. Them are, I would say, the people that inspire me probably the most.
Absolutely. I know it's so cliche to always throw the Edgar Allan Poe name out there, but I mean, come on. He's phenomenal. I'm a fan of every word he's ever written. He's awesome.
I've been reading them most of my life now.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, very cool. So if you're a fan of those authors and those poets, for sure you'll love this book. By the way, while we have the opportunity, where can readers get this book? Where is it available for purchase?
It's available on Barnes & Noble, on Amazon as well.
Okay, very cool. So we'll just go to Amazon, Barnes & Noble, check out This Broken Home by Brandon Adam Haven. That should come up right up for you. I did search it earlier, so it shouldn't be any problems there. Now, about the book, I'm curious. What is your favorite? This is a collection of poetry. Are there some short stories in there?
Yeah, there's a few short stories, and the rest of it's poetry.
Okay, so as the author, tell the world, what is your favorite within the book? Do you have a favorite story or poem?
I actually tried to just pour it out with this whole book. My goal was to make every piece as good as possible. You know what I mean? I compare it to almost like a good album, musical album you'd listen to, where all the songs are good. I really, really poured my soul out in this book and tried to create that. I do like the darker themes in the book better, but the emotive themes are striking as well to me.
Okay, fantastic. Now, with that being said, which would you warn the readers of being the darkest, maybe most disturbing piece? And I mean that in like a horror fan kind of way. What would be the most dark and disturbing piece that you might warn, but also maybe quietly direct the readers to go check out?
That would be The Orchard of Monterey, which is a short story in there. It's very morbid and dark. It's loosely inspired by paranormal experiences I had had in my life. Very loosely inspired, but I tried to make it. A couple people that have read it told me it terrified them. So,
That's The Orchard of Monterey?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Very cool. That is fantastic. I can't wait to read that. Because that's like the train wreck. You can't help but to look. I'm headed right towards that one when I get this book. I'm gonna check it out. And now you mentioned you poured your heart and soul into this book, and you really put yourself out there to make every piece fantastic. And with doing that, what do you hope, or what were your hopes that readers would take from this book or from this experience?
I really just want the readers to be able to feel, you know what I mean? That's the most important thing to me. That's the most important art to me, that I admire, is art that I can feel. I want the reader to be able to feel despair. I want them to be able to feel fear, you know what I mean? And comfort even from this book.
That's fantastic. I think in some ways that could be related to, because you think, we automatically think people just want to feel good all the time, but sometimes you need to sit with those emotions. You need to process them. You need to have an outlet. When you're sad, you listen to sad music. When you're happy, you listen to happy music. And I think in a way, maybe it's a form of exposure therapy, So to have somebody that might be dealing with despair or darkness or whatever, go to these books and kind of help transmute that and experience it through a more creative outlet rather than sitting with their own real problems. So very cool. That's awesome. Now, what is next? Now tell me, this book is the second in a series, or
yes.
Prior to this, there was what? The Grace?
Into the Gray was the first book. And initially I was just going to have that as a standalone, but as I started writing this book, a lot of things from my past kind of, played part in it too. And that's what Into the Gray is a lot about. Even the cover, I'm standing in front of a mausoleum because of how many, it's a symbolic thing because of how many times I almost passed away because of my bad decisions, my bad addictions.
Right.
So yeah, with this book, I was aiming to intertwine, I guess. It would be kind of a sequel to a lot of the poetry and Into the Gray and everything.
Okay, very cool. Now, what's next in the literary world for Brandon Adam Haven? Is there maybe a part 3, or is there another project altogether that you're working on or hope to work on that your fans can wait for?
I've been working on anthologies from Wheelsong Poetry in my community just to try to raise money for children. That's very important. But next year, I absolutely hope to have a third book out. And yeah, it's going to tie in with this book and the first book as well. Even the short stories, I have some ideas for to kind of tie them in.
That's exciting. That gives the viewers and fans of yours an opportunity to go grab the first book that is, again, called
Into the Gray.
Into the Gray. I keep wanting to call it the Grayscale. I don't know why, but Into the Gray, and then next, this book that we're currently highlighting, This Broken Home. So grab those 2 books, catch up on your reading, and that way you have something to anticipate and look forward to from Mr. Brandon Adam Haven. Now, this has been super awesome. I can't wait to get my hands on this book. Again, Into the Gray and This Broken Home, both available on Amazon.com as well as BarnesandNoble.com. Is that correct?
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see more from you, and I'm beyond grateful that you stopped in and told us about you in the book today. Yeah, hold it up again. Let's check it out. Get a good look at that. It's a beautiful book. It's nice and thick too. How many pages is that?
It has, I believe, 172 pages in it.
Okay, so a very good read. Fantastic. Well, if you stop by Amazon or Barnes & Noble and grab Brandon's book, be sure to leave him a review and let him know what you thought. That helps the algorithm keep his book up front and relevant, and it lets him know what you thought. And you know what? Secretly, us artists and authors, we love to hear that, even if we say we don't. So thank you again, Brandon Adam Haven, author of This Broken Home. Thank you so much for stopping by on this Jam Sessions with me.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm grateful for you.
Absolutely. Same to you. Bye, guys. All right, crazy babies. I hope you enjoyed that interview and getting to know that author. And as promised, I have a few more book recommendations for you. If you're looking for a great children's book with a great message, check me out on Amazon. Beautiful Boy, the children's book by Joseph Mycutt, but it's got a great message for all ages. And if you're looking for a book of poetry that follows the author's journey through a very traumatic and dark period of her life, leading to the triumph that she's experiencing now, I highly recommend 20 Years of Winter on Amazon.com by Marie Dawn Moldovan. Also, if you are looking for poetry that follows the author's journey through many, many heartaches in the search for self-love, then I recommend on Amazon.com, But I may be a romantic, but I'm not hopeless by Alicia Hodge. And then last but not least, I represent this author, and he's got a great mind. He is writing a book series now called Philly Der Bedlam. This is the first book release in that series. It's called Vocus Animarum on Amazon.com by Martin Hoyle. And if you're looking for a book that dives deep into the psyche and is a psychological thriller filled with all sorts of content from spirituality to mental health and schizophrenia, I definitely recommend this book. And I'm also going to close us out with a video from that author, which kind of gives you some insight into that series. And something you should know is that not only did the author produce and direct this video, but he also created the music you're going to hear playing in the video. So check that out.